My name's Brian Reed. I'm actually the Deputy Director of the Mount Rogers Planning District Commission, located in Southwest Marion. I'm not here as that person, but that's why Reed asked me to come, because over 28 years of working with 20 localities, I do a lot of facilitating planning sessions, funding packages, water, sewer, housing, pretty much everything that we're going to talk about today for Alleghany County. That's how I know Reed. He was one of the town managers in towns in my district. So he asked me to come up and talk to you guys. I spent the day here yesterday, met with all the department heads, took a tour of the county, and it's beautiful. This place is awesome. Love the county logo too. That's really cool. I think y'all need to do some swag with it and get some marketing done. But yeah, so today it's just real, nothing official. Everybody relax. Just talk about, what the priorities are, what you guys think is. Don't want to go out too far, like a decade, but let's look at low-hanging fruit, like what you guys want to see in the next 3 to 5 years, and partnerships you have, any kind of consolidations that you're considering, transportation, tourism, water, sewer, housing. I know you got some economic development projects coming up, and that just like everywhere else, housing is a big priority, not just for industry, but commercial development, tourism, everything else. And I know y'all got some projects going on, so we can do a SWOT analysis if y'all are familiar with that, if you want to, or we can just take turns talking and take notes, and hopefully when it's all said and done, I'll take it back and create like a little strategic plan, restructuring plan, a path for where Alleghany wants to go. And Jessica is with Hurt and Profit, and they're working on projects here. They've worked on projects in the past, and I've worked with Hurt and Profit in like 7 other localities and have helped them put funding packages together for water, sewer, CDVG, trail projects, what have you. So that being said, where do y'all want to go?
First, let me open up from a member, not long-time member, but I've got some tenure now, I guess, as a member of the board here. I don't remember ever doing a retreat, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, this is the first one that I can remember that since I've been here in the last 10 years, which is a great thing. I think we need to do more often. So we obviously have some catching up to do. So what I'd like to see, and I don't know what everybody else feels like, is just more so open conversation to align, our needs and what we're looking at, and some planning and things like that, more so than a SWOT analysis, because I don't think we're to that point yet.
Okay.
Everybody good with that? Just kind of talking about it, and then we can get aligned and do this more often.
Good deal. So who wants to start?
Do you have an outline just to go by? Can we use?
So Reed sent a thing out that actually I was with Reed, and Griff was there too last week, but I missed him in Richmond at the local government day with VML and VACO. But so at the top, get on the right page. Economic development, I think, is probably every locality's #1 priority. And if you'll look at this sheet that Reed sent out, I put housing would be a key factor. And I know that the county has this 170-acre plot is zoned residential, and that's a key. Plus, you've got these Frayland Apartments going in right here, and Reed had told me about it, and then we got here, and I was like, holy cow, it's actually happening. I thought it was just a partnership agreement, and they're under construction. I mean, they're almost done. 2 of them are. And that's right here. I mean, that's right at your front door. So, I mean, economic development, let's just throw it out there. Priorities, I mean, you've got the pad site, which has started, but as a whole,
I'd say 42 housing and sewer would be, needs to go in sequence with the pad site. When I say in sequence, I don't mean you have to build it out, but we need a road system in there, and we need to exercise opportunities of different wastewater systems. What is portable systems cheaper?
you mean like a package plant?
Package plant.
Yeah.
And can that package plant be turned into a pumping station later? So.
That's a question for Ricky.
Right. But I mean, I think that's the avenue we need to go, because we do the pad site and we do not have housing.
Yeah.
We absolutely did the pad site for nothing, zero, because we won't retain the people. Our goal is to retain new people into the community along with new industry.
So that's a huge problem in Southwest too. Like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the town of Withfield, where 81 and 77 come together. So they're getting ready to build a nitrile glove factory, 2,500 jobs. They already know through regional housing study, like what y'all have had done, is there's already an existing housing shortage. So when someone comes in and says, we're going to invest in your locality, we're going to bring you, even if it's 250 jobs, where are those people going to live? And we had a similar situation in the town of Marion when Emory and Henry College opened up the School of Health Sciences. Well, in 11 months, property owners that had been sitting on empty buildings developed them into apartments, and it's like 360 units appeared in no time. It's all college students, and they come and go. And one thing you have to be careful with, which is what happened in my town, is you actually can get to a situation where you displace local people to try to cater to the new people coming in. So I think that's why it's good that you have rentals is your first development right here, because that kind of reaches out to your current population and folks that are coming in. But yeah, it needs to be concurrently. They need to run side by side, the development, the economic development, and your housing, because you can get burnt, like if you build it, they will come type scenario, and you could build housing and then the economic development doesn't come, and you can do the economic development and then you don't have the housing. It needs to happen at the same time. And there's plenty, right now in Virginia, there's plenty of funding scenarios for housing, because they recognize Virginia Housing is throwing money at housing development. And they call it affordable housing, workforce housing, if you will. And the past perception of that is low income. You know, people think Section 8, housing authority type, and that's not what it is at all. So Virginia Housing has given all the planning district commissions in the state $2 million to develop housing units. They don't care if it's single family, rentals, multifamily, what have you. So it's essentially free money as long from the state that comes through the PDCs that they can pass on to not only local governments, but also developers, private developers. We're doing it in our district. We ran RFPs. Localities that own property like y'all do, they're offering the property for free for developers to come and build mixed use, rentals, single family, and Virginia Housing will pay for that. Like, we're using it as a carrot. We'll give a developer, we'll give you $100,000 if you'll build 4 rental units. Now, if it costs them $300,000, it costs them $300,000. But we're giving them $100,000, whether they use it for materials, water, sewer, whatever it is. It's a carrot for them to develop. And I think y'all could easily do that here in Alleghany since you own the property. You've got Department of Housing Community Development. You've got rural development. There's all types of grant and loan opportunities that are out there where right now, especially housing, it's the buzz. It's like what broadband was 5 years ago. Right. And so, and broadband's another thing you package with it, but housing is essential. And I think you guys have an interstate corridor, you're close to hubs, and you have property specifically set aside for housing. And that is huge. That's what a lot of places don't have. Water and sewer is an issue. Your county has 2 sewer treatment plants and a lot of pump stations, but no water. You're purchasing water. And mass residential development is almost, it puts more of a strain on your infrastructure than mid-size industry does, because you're talking about multifamily, dishwashers, washer and dryer, baths, all that stuff. So that's something that you really need to look into. And when I was talking with Ricky yesterday, there's a lot of resources out there that can help you with evaluations of your water and sewer systems. Years ago, there was a program called 604B, and I'm sure there's probably one in this building somewhere that DEQ and the health department paid for, and they did it by counties in Virginia, and you did a comprehensive water and sewer study, and it was like a 10-year plan. They were probably done back in the 90s, I think 98, somewhere around in there. And basically, it was a comprehensive plan for your water and sewer systems, and a lot of them, it was just like a comprehensive plan. It was put in a notebook and it was set on a shelf. But I bet there's one here for Alleghany County, and that's a good start you can look at. But Griff, you're right. You need to look at the infrastructure. So these Fralin housings, these apartments, where's that infrastructure coming from? Where's the water, where's the sewer going?
Sewer going?
Yeah.
To the Lovemore treatment plant.
Okay, right here.
It's right across the interstate.
Okay, so that's easy. That's an easy one. The 170 acres, where's that infrastructure come from?
Yeah, you're talking about the 42?
Yeah.
What he's talking about? That would go to Lower Jackson, but there's not currently infrastructure that
Runs to it.
be a big capital investment.
How far has it got to go?
No, probably it'd be a river crossing and
Oh, and a river crossing?
Where does it run to?
42.
Iron Gate. We'll go to Iron Gate with it.
But where's the closest tie-in from 42?
They the next year.
Hotel Park.
Is it Cliffdale Park?
Yeah. It's only a couple miles, maybe 2 miles.
That's to get it to the plant. We may be able to tie into a closer location, but it's not readily available right there in that area.
What about Clippendale Park?
Oh, yeah, it's so capacity, they can use so fast.
Pumping back to that potentially.
One thing you might look at, years ago, when they were still debating the 220 hooked to the interstate thing, one of the corridors that VDOT picked out was through what they call Higgins Hollow. It's a shortcut through there right into where the sewer plant is. And
Okay.
I remember walking that thing, I mean, it's through National Forest, just looking at it, but there's just a low valley in there. There's nothing in there right now except woods, but
Is there a right of way? Did they put?
no, it just goes through a chunk of the National Forest, but there's a stream there that drains, I mean, the Higgins Hollow route comes right out at the plant.
And that may be, in talking with Gary, he's the guy that's in here 45 years.
Yeah.
That may be the area that he was talking about too. And Cliftondale may be a possibility, but I doubt it because of the sizing of the lines may have to be
I was
up.
gonna say, if you come back to Cliftondale, you're gonna have to upsize everything from there to the sewer plant anyway. I'd look hard at going through Higgins Hollow, right straight through with a whole new line.
When they did the drawings, John showed me some drawings we have,
Yep.
and that line easement right away was going up Longdale Furnace Road. And they had all the easements and right-of-ways except for two, and that's where a pumping station would have been located, and the landowner wouldn't go along with it. What's that landowner's name?
Coastal. Coastal,
Yeah.
he's a lawyer. He's ticked off at us because we didn't give him cable vision.
What was the last thing again on that? Okay.
George Costello's now mentally not with us.
So we probably could get it.
He'd have to talk to his wife, but
Hey, Bill, what is
he's got it.
I shouldn't have said it like that.
So
How much excess capacity does the town of Clifton Forge have?